Now we discuss the empowerment approach to women development. So this approach is closely associated with third world feminism and grassroots organizations. It is more recent, more like in the 21st century. The aim of this approach is to improve women's self-reliance and to influence policy, and legal and economic change. So it's both looking at the women at the individual and group level, but also at the state and the global level. So this is the change which from the previous approaches. So what are the priorities? So empowerment approach prioritizes the acknowledgement of women triple roles, requirement of awareness raising, and building of organization skills and self-esteem. So these are three areas prioritized by the empowerment approach. So what are the three triple roles of women? So this approach recognizes that the women play three types of roles. So first is the reproductive role. That means the childbearing and rearing and caring. So this cannot be done by anybody else. So women do this role. Then there is the productive role. So that is the area which when they work for activities that have economic rewards, when they generate income. So whether they are given that income is not important. But if a woman goes take care of the animals or cattle at home, if she take care of, for example, crops, if she helps in cutting the crops or in sowing the crops, so all these areas, or if she works in office or in a school or in a hospital. So this role of women should also be recognized. And the third role is community management role, which is at the community. Women work, for example, at the marriage and death and other cultural activities. Women have a prominent role, and they have to play this role for the society to move ahead or move together. So this approach calls for recognition of these triple roles of women, which is played by women and have been played by women for centuries, but not recognized yet. This empowerment approach is also linked with third wave of feminism. The first wave of feminism was in the late 19th century and early 20th century, when the focus was only the voting rights and higher education. And this wave was basically a product of rich white ladies. So basically, women who were in advanced countries and had money and had social capital, and so they wanted voting rights and they wanted higher education. So that was the first wave. The second wave was characterized by personal is political. So that wave is basically a wave which was again populated by mostly women in advanced countries, but here women who from poor household also contributed, and they didn't only want to change the public structure, they also wanted to change their private lives. So basically, this second wave of feminism looked at the patriarchy at the individual level or the group level or at the family level. And the third wave is basically a wave which is mainly driven by the women in third world, in the poor countries or in the developing countries. So this wave looks not only at what the first two waves are doing, but also looks at the global structures, that how the white people or people who have colonized other people, how they have looked at or used women. and how they are continually using their power to oppress the whole countries, the poor countries, including women. So this empowerment approach is also linked with the third wave of feminism. The issue with this wave is, or this approach is, that it has created the awareness, but the change is very slow. So women have become more knowledgeable of what should be done, but that future, that rosy future, is not coming. So that is the problem with this approach. But hopefully, this empowerment approach will lead to a better future.